Sige po. Anyway, go ahead.
So, pwede kong tapusin.
Sige po. Go ahead po, sir. Then I'll
dun sa letter namin na yon, sinasabi na namin sa secretary, ito ang cost everyday niyan. At nag-offer kami na mag-file ng case against the illegal occupants. No? Kaya lang wala akong ginagawa pa rin ng DNR. So afterwards, na-compel kami na i-detalye yung cost. And every month, nagpapadala kami ng statement of account. Ito na ang suma. Ngayong buwan, ito ang nagastos namin. So please, gawin nyo na yung trabaho nyo kasi lumalaki ang cost. At itong pera na to, actually, hindi lang sa amin ang cost, kundi eventually sa gobyerno din. So please, gawin nyo na yung trabaho nyo. Yun ang objective ng statement of account. Hindi nga demand letter nakasulat doon.
Yes, Madam Secretary.
Honorable Chair, thank you very much. And I'll turn over to ASEC Enran in a moment. You will note that the number 3, a term damages, is used. And therefore, I also understand that damages constitute a legal obligation. And so my interpretation is clearly from the legal context. And I'll turn over to ASEC Enran here at the moment.
Yes, Mr. Chair, and it's clear in this letter, although there's no word demanding us to pay, but it is clear that from the second paragraph, it mentions that the costs associated with the land are chargeable to DNR and applied against the DNR share of the project proceeds.
Or in other words, laying the basis.
Yes.
So whether or not they do demand it later on,
It's
may paglalatag dito.
already a demand.
Having said that, did we answer their letter?
We referred it to the regional office for the
And this is March
response.
2025, so
Yes,
okay pa kayo. But did DNR answer them in 2021 and 2018? Can you check, di ba?
Yes, Mr.
Kasi,
Chair.
di ba, meron tayong sa 6713 na I think is it a month to answer. So if they weren't answered in 2021, 2018, go ahead, sir.
I'm glad you asked that question, sir, because not one of those many statement of account were answered. What happened was the statement of account was passed from one office to another without any action whatsoever. It also passed the hands of ASEC Enran many times. What did he do? He merely passed it on to the regional director who sat on the documents. Sana ang objective ng letter ay umaksyon na kayo. Yun naman ang sana namin eh.
Sige, sir.
Pinag-uusapan niyo yung technicality ng letter na yun. Samantalang ang dapat mong gawin ay nagsasuffer yung bansa dahil dito sa kapabayaan na to. Umaksyon naman na kayo.
Ma'am, at least on that point lang, I'll give you an opportunity to answer. On that point lang, kasi di ba bata tayo, yun ang sinasabi, may ghost sa forest. Pero ito iba ghosting about the forest. Can we just check in the past nga, before your time? Sir, I won't depend anyone. Kaya lang kasi yung pag sinabi kasi for appropriate action, sometimes talaga yung ASEC sends it to the regional direct, sometimes to the secretary. So, but what I'll promise you is we'll cull through the facts and then get to those issues. But you wanna respond just so that hindi hanging yung...
Very quick, Mr. Chair. In fact, during the time of Secretary Simatu, in response to the
By the way,
statement of account,
was this in any budget hearing, whether sa House or sa Senate? Wala. So first time to dinidiscuss?
so this was the second, the House and then the Senate also.
Etong issues na to, para lang hanapin ko yung sa House, it was brought
House,
up.
yes,
Oo.
yes.
And na-resolve naman, ma'am, or it was left hanging then? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Waiting for the committee report.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay.
Mr. Chair, in fact, during the previous administration, in answer to this statement of accounts, the Secretary Simato then issued a special order creating a special committee to renegotiate because there was already an order that we revise these agreements to conform with the law.
Yeah.
And we were saying that let us be compliant with the provisions of the National Integrated Protected Area System, or the NIPAS, because it says there that any contract pertaining to a protected area should be through a special agreement on protected areas. And there are corresponding fees for that. So 5% of the market value of the adjacent lot, yun po yung amount na babayaran nila, plus 1% dun sa improvement.
So let's do this.
So-
Let's form our technical working group. But what I will commit to both sides, I'll also sit down with you on those issues. Diba? So let the technical working group look at the contracts, the basis, the demand letters, etc., the area, whether sasama kami sa visit or hindi. Then I'll sit down with you on the who's talking to what, talking to who, no? But let's end with the status, no? So the status now is there's a letter informing them that canceled yung contract for the 300 hectares.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Then the first one, the 130 and the 2,700 is under review.
Correct, Mr. Chair.
At the very least, ma'am, can we, for the ones under review, kung sinong head, and then assure them that there'll be transparent talks para lang we don't go through this again later on, di ba? Who will be heading the, sabi mo, under review yung 3,000 hectares at saka yung 130?
So the head of our legal department is Undersecretary Adobo, but the lead person on this will be Assistant Secretary Enneran.
Okay. So, I'll leave it at that muna, and tignan natin. Ang question lang kasi, ASEC, if may konting animosity na sa inyo on the 300 hectare, how do we just make sure na sa 130 at 2007, maganda communication? And this is a basic tatay, dalawang anak, paano pwedeng mag-usap. But we'll leave it there. As I said, Holy Week naman, time for all of us to reflect. I suggest, with your permission, anything you submit to the committee, I will furnish the other side in the spirit of understanding. Baka naman may mabasa, makita tayo doon that will open our minds. If not dito sa 300 hectares, doon sa iba. Yes, ma'am.
If I may just say a little bit, Your Honor, because I do not doubt the passion of Secretary Yulo, for example. I've known very well, deep interest in the conservation of the environment, and so many of the officials here have devoted their lives. I would not like to think that we're so far from the ultimate goal, which is really the territorial and biological integrity, not only of Lot 10, but beyond. And we were actually heartened by the fact that the good senator said that if there's a way forward, if there's a feasible solution, and I think everyone is agree on the table, we're on the same page, that we're now looking at conservation and what is possible. I think there's a way of interpreting the law. I think the good Assistant Secretary will agree that SAPA is not the only way of moving forward. It will effectively discourage those who have no profit in mind. The Masungi Foundation, just to be clear, and we have made a submission recently to show that not a single centavo has actually gone into the pockets of anyone. Everything has been devoted to conservation. And having that in mind, I think it would not be good to say that for the privilege and for the honor of reforesting and protecting our environment, you have to pay. That's not the concept behind the SAPA. It talks of exploration, development, which is not this. This is not what this is, Your Honor. So we really do look forward, and we really believe that there is a way forward, having a common agenda in mind. We can have a productive talks. I mean, it's the legacy of this generation passed on to future generations, Your Honor. This is I think what we should concentrate on.
Well, first, ma'am, thank you for that appeal. That's
Yes,
a very
thank
good
you.
way to close
Thank you very much.
the hearing before we suspend today. Number two, I just want to share. I'm listening to this man of God, Dr. Miles Monroe, no? And sabi nga niya, leaders don't see problems, they see opportunities. And as you've claimed, no, that your family is a leader